stitched on. So the goal is that you stitch, you do, does that one have a picture on the back? No. Oh, here, let me grab it for a minute. Okay, so your step one is drawing the shape, right? From the middle line on the pattern, quarter on either side at the bottom, 1/16 at either side at the top. Okay? Then we stay stitched using a littler stitch, right? And then you slash right up the middle. Okay? And then you place this on so that the edge of the bias here is always a 1/4 inch from the stay stitch. So you move the sleeve down and away from the edge of the bias. That's what this picture shows. Just match it at the end, leave a little extra, and you match it here. So you're moving the sleeve down and away from the edge of the bias. Okay? Which is that.
So at the middle point, would it be 3/4?
Okay? No, at the middle, yeah, at the middle point it will be a 1/4, okay? But when you're pinning this, let me just repeat pinning, because the pinning here is really important. You're on the sleeve side of the stay stitch. You have to be pinning on the sleeve side of the stay stitch. You have to have lots of pins toward the top, because it goes to kind of nothing. And literally, as you stitch and as the instructions show, you literally have 2 stitches across the top. It has to be 2. You change your stitch length to 16 stitches per inch. So, but crucial is this part right here. You have to have lots of pins stacked really close in that area, okay? And because you've slashed it all the way up to that top layer, to that top, those 2 stitches across the top, it allows it to open up flat like that, okay? And then you, again, keep pinning down to the other end so that always from the bias, the blue, dark blue, to the stitch is always a 1/4, okay? Everybody good? Okay. And then when you go to stitch, I'll just pretend, when you go to stitch, you're going to be stitching again on the sleeve side, kissing the first stay stitch. It's a stay stitch here. It stabilizes it, it holds it together. You're going to be stitching exactly to the left of it, you know, and just stitch as you get up to the middle. You're likely going to have this pleat thing here. All you have to do is flip it out of the way, needle down, flip this out of the way, continue down the other end, okay? And I hand guide it right at the top. I literally turn it by hand, all right? And then continue down, all right? Make sense?
It's like back in the stitch line.
No. Sort of. I usually keep it a drop smaller than my 2 1/4. If you stitch it on the small stitch, no problem, really, but you kind of have options there a little bit. Then you fold, press the seam all toward the bias, toward the little part. All right? All right, so that's that step. Then you fold so that the straight edge of the bias here matches the straight edge of the bias here. Fold to the wrong side of the garment. Fold so that straight edge matches that straight edge. Here I went to the iron. You can do it with pins, but it's kind of awkward. So here I find it's easier to go to the iron and just press that down, right? So you get it in place. Okay, good? Okay, then the way I showed this is a crack stitch. So to prepare a crack stitch, I now take my right side of the sleeve up, I bring this around so that this fold goes just below the stitch. So it's similar to what I just did on the cuff, right? So you got a little lip underneath so that when you pin on the top layer, it catches fabric on the bottom layer. Okay, that's why you have, like I missed, right? I have to give myself a little bit more there. your goal here, you know, a good 16th or a fat 16th would be good, all right? We don't have a thread trace here to help us, so you gotta feel it. All right, that's also a little close, right? I might fall off that if I do a stitching. So let me try one more time. Okay, and bring it over a drop. If you see the bias start twisting, it is not going to get better. It's just going to get worse as you go. Stop right away and fix it. Take your pin out and redo it. Ah, now I got it. Okay, so I'm here. But again, if you're doing by machine, you have to go past the seam that you first stitched so that there is a lip or a margin underneath, something to catch on to. Okay, like that. And the goal is when you're done, that this is completely even. All right? You can look on this side it's even, and you can look on this side it's even. All right? And then the hard part is just sewing it in the crack. And again, I forgot my glasses in my office. I'll just have to try, and hopefully I can get it. No guarantees, but maybe. Okay, and because of the way you stitch this, you're going to be able to go right up to the top edge. Just make sure that seam keeps going where it's supposed to, toward the middle, inside this bias, right? Everything is hidden inside the bias. Oh, I'm still close. Why am I having trouble tonight? Ah, that's much better. All right, what's going on? This guy doesn't want to go there. Okay. Okay, so it takes a little time to get it pinned in the right spot, but the more time you spend here, then the easier it will be when you actually sew, so that you don't miss it. Okay, because you really only want to stitch it once if possible, so you don't have to rip it. Okay, one more guy, but you can see my pins are pretty close together, right? Okay, and I think I got it. Okay, so all I'm going to do is stitch this. I will have to blind you probably. Let me just, is that all right?